Well, very interesting story I just read about in Zero Hedge that I had not heard about anywhere else, and honestly, that's part of the story. A man by the name of Mohammed Mezmarian, I think I'm saying that right, rammed his car through the gates of a Tesla solar array near Las Vegas, Nevada, and tried to siphon gas out of his car to set a transformer on fire, presumably to knock out power. Um, Now, apparently, this unit was not functioning, and so he didn't actually knock out anyone's power, but he did cause damage that they're saying could take up to 2 years to repair. It's still hard to get parts for things like that, I'd imagine. And we've been hearing more and more about attacks on power stations, substations, and now in this case, a power generation facility. You can't. I don't know if you really call it. Well, I guess it would be a power plant. Power plant's a pretty generic term. I think they could apply to a solar farm, as they call them sometimes. There was a big media firestorm in, I think it was North Carolina, a couple months ago, where supposedly some Trumpers wanted to knock out the power, and I don't even remember what the justification given by the media was, but they were saying, well, these are Trump supporters. I don't think we actually knew that. I'm not sure if that even ever turned out to be true. Probably not. But these were Trumpers, and they were doing it on Trump's behalf. And this is January 6th all over again. And the white supremacists are going to try and knock out the electricity in America. And apparently on Christmas Day, there was also an attack on a power station in Washington State. And so I think that these are becoming more common. If there are ones that we're missing and that aren't being reported by the media, like this one in Vegas, I think attacks on the power grid are just becoming a trend. Kind of like, school shootings were. Kind of like, bombings were. And it's not entirely clear that all of these people have the same motivation or any motivation. Maybe some of them are just nuts. But I think it's pretty obvious why the media ignored this one. The guy's named Muhammad, and he very clearly is, kind of brown. He's not one of those paler Arabs that you can kind of pass off as white. So the media is not really interested because no matter what his motivation was, it's not really going to help their narrative to have some guy named Muhammad blowing up the power grid. So if it's not something that they have to report on, because really I don't think this affected anybody directly, like as far as civilian customers, this just affected, well, I would assume Tesla and whatever power company they're working with. So, and they already caught the guy. He's in custody. He's been charged. So if it's something that they can avoid, if it's not going to benefit them, they're going to avoid it. Now, the Daily Mail, of course, picked it up because the Daily Mail picks up everything. There's, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's around to hear it, you can bet it's going to make dailymail.com. Now, what's interesting is that this Mohammed Mezmarian guy, he doesn't appear to be doing this, like on behalf of some, jihadi terror organization, based on what he said. Of course, what he did say was kind of vague, but I think he would have said something different if he was, a jihadi or the like. So I don't think that's why the media isn't reporting on him. I don't think that it was an example of some jihadi guy and the media is afraid of, what they call Islamophobia. What he said is that he did this for the future, which I find interesting. That, to me, makes it seem more like he's an eco-terrorist. Although, that would beg the question, why would he go to a solar power plant and try to blow it up? I thought the eco-terrorists love solar, but, if the eco-terrorists are actually honest and really do care and are intelligent, they would know that solar panels are no good for the planet because of the rare earth mining and the strip mining that is necessary for producing them. So maybe this guy is a genuine environmentalist who understands that solar panels are a racket. So maybe I'll have to look more into this one. I think it's an interesting story. In fact, now that I've seen that there's at least one of these stories that the media hasn't picked up on. I'm going to try and go back through them and see if I can string anything together about all these attacks on the power grid. I don't know that there's a pattern there, other than that they're all attacks on the power grid. But it is odd that this is a new trend. So assuming that there isn't too much action this week, I should be able to maybe come back and give some updated thoughts. For now, though, I think I'll leave it here. It's a short one. This is just sort of a bulletin, like, hey, this is something that was not on my radar that now is. So for the rest of you, keep an eye out for this as well. Maybe there's something that we're missing. So with that said, I will see you folks back here tomorrow.